my name is Kristen. This is Kristen Craves Books. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun to compare US versus UK covers because there's actually one book in particular that inspired this whole video for me and I want your opinion on, but I'm going to try and decide which cover I like better and probably put up a tally here and see which ones win, whether I prefer US or UK covers in general. This is just for fun. Obviously, this is not backed by any research. This is just my opinion. And it's interesting to be somebody who lives in Canada because though I think we mostly get US editions of books, I do find that I'm surprised sometimes when I go to a bookstore and realize that we have a UK edition. So you can never really guess as a Canadian which one you are going to get. So I do like comparing the covers. I think it's fun. It's interesting to see the differences between the UK and US editions, and just based on guessing, I think I'm going to be more into the UK ones. That seems to be the case for me, and I don't know the logic behind that at all. But we will go dive right into it, and the book that inspired this is actually You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Kweki Emezi, which you've heard me talk about many times. It is one of my new favorite books. I rated it a 4.5. And as time has gone by, it is a 5-star read for me. I cannot stop thinking about it. But we're not talking about what the books are about in this video. If you want to know more about it, I will link some videos down below where I talk about it. But this is the US cover. It is stunning. I love how striking the orange is. This book does have a tropical setting, so this really works for that. I think it's gorgeous. And then the UK one, I'm also drawn to. I love the pink background. I love that it's just a picture of her hand and she has like the tropical fingernails, and our main character in here is a widow. Her husband passed away 5 years ago, and so there is a significance to having a wedding band on the chain like that, and that really comes into play in the book itself. And I do think this might be an unpopular opinion, but I am more drawn to the UK one. I think the US one is stunning, but it's not unique enough. I think there are a lot of covers that kind of have that vibe. I've never seen anything quite like the UK edition, but to be honest with you, I love this book so much. I wouldn't be opposed to having both editions, so that could happen in the future, but I'm gonna give this one to the UK. This next one is fun, and another book that I've already read, and that is Dial of the Moon Goddess, and I physically read the US edition, so here's the cover. I'll put up a picture here so you can see the details better. And then I do have the stunning Fairy Loot edition, and with the sprayed edges and everything. And I'll put up a picture of the one you would get in the UK if you were just to order it off Waterstones or Blackwell's or something. And it's very similar, except the flowers are pink, which I actually really like. And this is a toss-up. I love that the US cover has the main character pictured on here. I do love the illustration style, but again, I think I'm drawn more to the UK one. I think it's the size of the flowers on here, the border that is there, and the way that the moon is so large in it and it seems to glow and shine off the page really attracts my attention. So I have to give it to the UK again, but they're both stunning, and I'm happy to have editions of both on my shelf. This next one is an easy one for me, and it's a book that I just read and haven't even talked about yet, but I will talk about it in my next recent reads video. But this is Not Good for Maidens, and this is a Goblin Market retelling, and it's fantastic. And the US cover is the clear winner for me. It is stunning. This is one of the most gorgeous covers that I've ever seen. I don't know, there's something about it that I'm really drawn to. It really captures the atmosphere and tone of the book really well, and how it's got that spooky vibe, the goblin coming out of her shoulder. It's absolutely perfect. And while I think the UK one is pretty with the moth and everything, it's just not memorable. I don't think that it really fits the story as well as the US one, and I just don't think it'll be a cover that really stands out to people, so this is a US win. Next up is Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? And this, I have the US edition, and I think it's beautiful. I love that the women that are in Yinka's life are included on the cover. I think that's a nice touch. But the UK one is so bright and vibrant, and I was looking at the Waterstones edition that they have, and it has gorgeous sprayed edges, and I just have to give this one to the UK. Again, though it is generic in a way, I just think the colors are more attractive. I like that it has that border, and it just kind of fits the vibe of the story, because it is a rom-com, and that gives me rom-com vibes in a way that the other cover doesn't. Then we have Only a Monster, and The US version of this is gorgeous. I love the gray and red tones in this one. The illustrations are really beautiful. I like that it's kind of, there's like a fogginess to it. I haven't read this book yet, but I have a feeling that that kind of fits the vibe of the story. And the UK edition is really beautiful. I do have the Fairy Loot edition of that one as well. And I love like the stopwatch on it and everything, but the US one edges out on this one. I love the illustrations, and I actually do wish I had the US version because there's something really special about it, and I love whoever the artist is that did these illustrations because it's really beautiful. Then we have the Ivory Key, and once again, both gorgeous. I love like the repeated patterns on the US version. I was really caught my attention before I even knew what the story was about. But then I saw the UK version, and there's something about it that I really like. This one I'm so torn on. Love the characters in here. I love the illustrations. I love like their intense gaze that they have at one another. I have a feeling that kind of fits the tone of the story, but I'm not sold on the green background. So I'm really torn on this one, but I do think that the UK one just edges it out a little bit because I think that characters on there are so striking, and I love their expressions so much. If the background was a different cover, it would be perfection for me, but yeah, that's the winner for me. Then we have A River Enchanted, and once again, a tough one. I love the line work on the US edition and that it includes the harp. But then there's something about the UK one, the way that the title is in the river and the way that it's flowing, it's very dreamlike. So I think I have to give it to the UK again. I just think it's creative how they put the title in the river, and I like the colors in here. And there's just something more attractive about it to me, but the US version is beautiful, don't get me wrong. Then we have This Vicious Grace, and I really thought I would pick the UK version of this one, but the more I look at the US cover, the more that I like it, the more details that I notice. I know there's a lot of these covers with a woman's face on the cover and greenery and fruit and flowers and everything, but there's something striking about the colors and vibrancy of this one. I love the blood dripping down the eye. It kind of tells you it's a bit of a darker story than you might expect. Something about the forbidden fruit reference. I really like it. I know I like the illustration on the UK edition with the books and everything. It's just not as striking. The tones are more muted, and I think if it was more vibrant and colorful in the color palette, I would have picked it, but I have to give this one to the US cover. And if you think something different, if you like the UK one more, let me know, because I was really torn on this one, and I can see why the style of the UK one is more original and would appeal to more readers. So let me know your thoughts on that one, and all of these, of course. I'd love to hear your opinions. Next up is Nettle and Bone, and there was a clear winner of this one for me. I gotta give it to the UK cover. It's stunning. I love the colors. I love all the illustrations. There's even that chicken on there. I haven't read this yet, but I know there's a demon chicken involved, so I love that the chicken's included on there. This is just gorgeous, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised there's no special editions out there, and if there is one, let me know, because I would love this cover with some sprayed edges or stenciled edges or something, because that is gorgeous. And the US one is nice, but again, it's kind of similar to This Vicious Grace, the US version, but not as well done, I don't think. There is like a hauntingness to it, but it doesn't stand out to me, so yeah, UK wins this one. Next is The Drowned Woods, and again, I think we have a clear winner here. I have to go with the US cover. I love the tree, all the intricate details on this one, and the way that it really pops in comparison to the background. This is beautiful. This is a cover I could look at for ages and notice different details. I think it's really pretty. And while I do like the UK version, I like that we have the sword in the front and then the kingdom in the background, and there's that perspective there. Again, I think it comes down to the color palette for me. It's very muted, and I just wish they went with more vibrant colors like they did on the US version, but yeah, the US wins for that one. Next up is a book that has been getting a lot of attention. I don't think I've seen anybody give this anything under a 4-star rating, so I need to get my hands on a copy, but this is Lessons in Chemistry, and again, I like them both. I like the color of the background on the US one. I like the illustration. I like that she has a pencil in her head, and then when you look in her glasses, there's like test tubes and everything, so it really gives you the idea that this is about somebody who works in STEM. And then the UK version, I love like the 4 different colors. I love that it's got more of a vintage vibe with the woman with her dress holding the TV. I don't know that it captures the tone of the story as much. I haven't read it, so I can't say. And there is a special edition of this that I've seen going around at Waterstones where the stenciled edges have like the periodic table, and that is gorgeous. But just based on the covers alone, I think I do like the UK one more because it's more unique. We get a lot of these US ones with just an illustration of somebody's head, and while I do like the illustration, I think that the UK version is more memorable for me. Next is a book that, again, I've been seeing everywhere and I really want to read, and that's Notes of an Execution. And another one I'm torn on. I love the purple color of the US version. I love, like, it's a locket that's opened. You kind of get that haunting feeling. And I know that this is like a thriller, so I kind of get that vibe from this one. But then I am such a sucker for like any kind of wildlife on a cover. This fox is so beautiful, but I'm torn. I do think I have to give it to the US just because I think it's more unique. But that if I went to a bookstore in Canada and they had that UK cover, I'd be thrilled as well. So love them both, but I think US just has the edge on this one just because it's more memorable for me. Okay, so I have 3 more, and this one is really hard because they're similar, but the differences are really significant, I think. And this is Babel. So the US version, for some reason, that is the one my eye is drawn to. And I think it's just a perspective thing, how the tower seems a much larger, as in right in the center, you're really drawn to it. But I do like the typography on the UK cover more. I think it's clever in how it breaks down in the middle, but something about the US one really calls to me, and that is the one my eye is more drawn to. I think they're both gorgeous. I love the vibe of them and like the atmosphere that they both create, and they are very, very similar, but I have a feeling we're getting a lot of special editions of this, so I will be on the lookout for those. But which one do you like more? Because I'm really torn on this one, and I think the US just edges out because of the perspective, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. This next one is an easy one. It is Electra, and yeah, the US one's nice. I like the orange, I think it's pretty, but you cannot compete with this UK version. I actually pre-ordered this and it's on its way to me now. Everything about this is stunning. The illustrations, the foiling, the color choices. This is true for all of Jennifer Saint's books, like Ariadne. Yeah, the US one, I'm gonna put the pictures of those up as well. The US one, pretty enough, but the UK one, gorgeous, memorable, stunning, like one of the most beautiful books you can own. So there's no competition here. Easy UK win. And then lastly, we have Gallant, and while they're very similar in the illustrations, I do think I like the US one more, simply for how the book is packaged. I like the shape of it more. It's more unique. It feels like more of an experience, especially since there are illustrations through this, and it is quite a short book. I do like the uniqueness of this one, but I do have the Waterstones edition of the UK version, obviously, and the sprayed edges that I have are stunning. There's so many editions of this book up there. I love the Owl Crate one. I will put up a picture here. So if you're looking for an edition of Gallant, there are thousands out there, I swear. I see new ones all the time that you can choose from. But right now, I think actually the Owl Crate is my favorite, and I believe that Owl Crate will eventually put that up if they have extra copies. I'm not sure, but that is a stunning edition. So if you have that, I am envious of you. So those are the books that I decided to go with for this video, and I don't think I said at the beginning, but they're all 2022 releases. And this video was not helpful for me in deciding which versions I prefer. I think if I did my math right, the UK edges out just a little bit with 8 and the US has 7, so it's such a close call. And obviously this is very subjective, and I would love to know your opinions down below on all of these. What was your total? Did the US or the UK win for you? Please let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. I might do this again in the future. It was really fun and interesting to look at just how different these covers are. I find that really fascinating, and I've been getting more into covers lately and looking at designers. I've started to follow designers on Instagram, and it's just so much fun. So if you were into covers, let's talk about this all in the comments. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate you all. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.